Couple are launching a landmark legal test case against what they describe as a gay tax when it comes to NHS fertility treatment in England. 34-year-old Megan Bacon-Evans and her wife Whitney, who's 33, claim their local clinical commissioning group discriminates against LGBT plus families.
Ultimately, it comes down to the fact that there's an unfair financial burden being put on the LGBTQ plus community, and that relates to the eligibility criteria that is placed on us as opposed to heterosexual couples in order to meet the same level of requirement to where we can receive free funding of IVF on the NHS. Depending on what your local clinical commissioning group actually gives you, it's different as well. But there's a clear difference in the fact that for a heterosexual couple, the criteria is 2 years of unprotected sex, so no evidence and no cost. Whereas for a same-sex female couple, it is, well, in our case, 12 rounds of artificial insemination, which could cost to nearly £50,000.
Right, which is an extraordinary amount of money. And you say clearly that is discrimination.
Yes, essentially. I mean, ultimately, we would love to just have an equal playing field, essentially. That's really kind of what we're fighting for as well, just to have the same rights and opportunities as a heterosexual couple.
Yes, because, we feel that in the eyes of the law, we can equally be married and we're seen as wife and wife, but it doesn't seem to kind of go as far as being seen as equal in terms of creating a family.
So what would an equal playing field look like?
Well, I think it would be recognised the fact that obviously no matter how much we try, we unfortunately cannot create a family together. So even though it might not be medical infertility, in some cases for same-sex couples it is de facto infertility. And so essentially that would be, in the first instance, potentially IUI, which is artificial insemination, being provided by the NHS in order to sort of meet the same level of requirements as heterosexual couples before needing funding for IVF would be the ultimate solution. But ultimately right now what we're just asking for is for there to be a recognition that there is discrimination.
So just so I understand that accurately, you are saying that you would require artificial insemination on the NHS, and if that doesn't lead to a pregnancy, then you would be eligible for IVF on the NHS. Is that correct?
Yes, I think that would be the ultimate goal, because at the moment, just placing that barrier on the LGBTQ plus community where many people cannot simply afford to meet the criteria.
Yeah, it's essentially like a gay tax, as they're calling it, that's placed, like an unfair financial burden. And we've heard from so many of our followers as well that, they've spent a fortune and they've, maybe had 3 or 4 rounds, and then they may have had unsuccessful pregnancies and they just didn't have the means to go on. And, we've heard stories from that, many of our followers, and it's just, we realized quickly that this issue doesn't just affect us, it affects the whole community.
Yeah, and even if you may know you have an infertility issue, for example, often they still will need you to self-fund the required amount of artificial insemination.
Understood. And what do you say to those who might say, listening to you, you're not infertile? This is not a fertility issue.
I mean, it's still a fertility issue. It is a technically infertility and a fertility issue, and at the same time, it's just about the fundamental right of everyone deserves to have a family. And if a provision is being provided for one section of society but not for the other, then that's where the discrimination comes in.
In response to all of that, the NHS Frimley Clinical Commissioning Group said the fertility services we provide are based on NICE guidance, and while we can't comment on individual cases, we will fully engage with any legal proceedings.
For all the unconventional ways your team stays productive, we've got furniture to position them for success. Because at Office Depot Office Max, our business is to keep business going. Buy on.
Shalom. This is Brother Yair. Come with a quick lesson. Before I get started, I gotta give all praise, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakal Kodash. Double honors to apostles, elders, great millstone, who teach well. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the speckled birds scattered to the 4 corners of the earth, who descend from the sea line in Israel. Shalom to you all. So as you saw in that video, 2 alphabet people are crying and saying that they're not being treated well, they're not being treated right. We're being discriminated against, gay tax and so forth and so on. Just like the alphabet people always coming with extra stuff. Like, first of all, you're two Caucasian women claiming you can be mistreated against. Well, at the end of the day, well, who cares? You're in the eyes of the Most High God, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you're committing an abominable act. You and another woman. Okay? Scriptures clearly tell you should a woman should not lay down with another woman, and just like a man shouldn't lay down with another man. That's all there is to it. You know. Who cares? But let's go on scripture right quick. Like I said, this will be a quick lesson. This is where is it? Isaiah chapter excuse me. Isaiah chapter 3 verse 9 says, "They show their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not." Scripture said that their countenance witness against them. They declare their sin as Sodom. These women are the homosexual persuasion. It is not hidden in this society of the day, in Babylon, which is America, and other parts of the earth. You can't hide this stuff. These people are out and about. They don't hide what they're about. Throughout the earth, especially in the European countries, they have what they call pride parades and stuff. They don't hide it. They're proud of it. Scripture says they declare this sin as Sodom. They hide it not. Scriptures are speaking. Woe to their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. You will reward evil unto yourself, living that lifestyle, being in that lifestyle. Hey, and the day that it is what it is. A lot of these people, they're prideful. They're not gonna. You try to tell them, especially now. I'm speaking about when we're talking to our own people who are Israelites, so-called Negro, Latinos, Native American of indigenous descent. You're part of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, and that's why when we're out in the highways and the hedges, and when we do sit-down lessons, we try to tell you, you need to come out of that lifestyle. That's a death sentence. If you stay in it. But at the end of the day, are they going to listen? If they don't listen, they're going to stay in it, and like I said, it's going to be a sentence of death unto them. I got another scripture I'm going to go to. This is Jude chapter 1 verse 7. It reads, "Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh." So giving themselves over to fornication. A lot of these alphabet people, they have they have that perverse spirit on them of fornication, going after strange flesh. The scriptures tell you it's strange for a man to go after another man or a woman to go after another woman. That's strange, strange flesh. Continue on. Are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Now, it's not talking about you going to burn in hell or anything like that. No, it's just talking about that the eternal fire, you're going to perish, excuse me, when those thermonuclear missiles come over. Or whatever other way Yahweh Shem Yahushua has for you to suffer and die. Because you might not catch those nuclear missiles. It's all at his behest what way he wants to put you to death at. But if you stay in that lustful, sinful spirit, you are guaranteed to perish and die. Point blank, period. That's it. So yeah, I saw the video and I found it funny that these ABCDE people, they find anything to try to say that they're being discriminated against. Like the scripture, the holy words of God, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, says you're not supposed to be in that lifestyle. So who cares? All right. But this society of Babylon has pumped this nonsense up to the heavens, and now, like the scripture said, people are flaunting being in that way. So but these are just signs, and these are prophecies that's coming out showing that we're in the end days, that Yahweh Shai is around. Excuse me, he's around the corner, because it says in the end days that people will be doing all types of wickedness. So, hey, it is what it is. That's what's going on. So, I pray that was a little edifying to the flock. It was just something quick. Just want to bring out. Pray that brothers and sisters are doing well this week, and you have a good weekend later on, and brothers just keep pushing this word and enduring and striving for the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Yasharallah. All right. In closing, I give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakha Kodash. Again, double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone, who bring out that true, 100% truth, that true doctrine. All right. Shalom to the hopeful elect.